We're back for another thrilling Formula One weekend right in the middle of this triple header. This time we're heading to the Austrian Grand Prix. Both the big and small teams are gearing up with some new upgrades, although they might not be as dramatic as the ones we saw in Spain. Austria is a sprint event, and if you remember, McLaren had a major upgrade during last year's sprint. This year, some teams have already announced the parts they'll be bringing, but we might also see some surprise upgrades. The Austrian track is quite unique, with a focus on the rear end, similar to what we saw in Canada. So teams that did well in Canada might have a chance to shine here, especially if they come with new parts. Let's dive into the upgrades coming to the Austria GP by the major teams. Let's talk about Red Bull first. Red Bull introduced a new upgrade package in Spain, which worked quite well. Now, they're bringing more changes for the race in Austria. People are also talking about a major upgrade set to debut in Silverstone. It's still unclear if these new parts will be tailored specifically for certain tracks or if they will enhance the existing features. One notable change is the car's cooling system. Given the high temperatures at the Spanish Grand Prix, I expected to see more cooling vents on the engine cover. Surprisingly, there were none. Instead, they modified the top of the engine cover along with the side pod and vertical inlet to improve cooling and performance. The Red Bull team has been quite formidable in Austria over the past few years. They were incredibly strong in Spain a couple of years ago, although that dominance has since faded. It is anticipated that other teams stepping up their game in Austria, where Red Bull's strength, the rear portion of the car, plays a crucial role. Red Bull has always excelled in this area, so let's see if they can enhance their car further. The current model seems to have more downforce compared to the RB19, but it's missing some of the key advantages the RB19 had, like better tyre wear and a balanced, smooth driving experience with fewer understeer issues. The upgrades they are working on might include features that the RB18 and RB19 had, but the RB20 lacks. Recently, they've been testing the RB18 at Imola to find ways to improve the current car. As for Ferrari, there's no news of new parts expected from them just yet, but they might still surprise us with something new. We know that the upgrade package brought to Spain, originally intended for Silverstone, hasn't been fully optimized yet. This package was part of a larger upgrade plan. Despite being intended for Silverstone, they pushed ahead and brought most of the parts to Spain. A few components will likely be added in Austria and Silverstone, but the major upgrades have already been implemented. Notably, they've enhanced the Halo and the Cobra aerodynamic feature with a more pronounced undercut in the SF24. The car will continue to receive upgrades, indicating there's still more performance to unlock. The setup hasn't been perfect so far. Looking at their race performance in Spain, their pace closely matched that of Verstappen and Lando for most of the race. However, some internal battles between the Ferrari drivers caused delays, making it hard to catch up to the leaders. Eventually, Leclerc couldn't catch Russell. Currently, McLaren seems to be the fastest team, and they're bringing additional parts to Austria. Andrea Stella has confirmed that McLaren will be bringing new parts to every Grand Prix. In Spain, they didn't have major upgrades. Instead, they used a gurney flap on the front wing to improve performance and balance. Officially, there were no significant updates listed, though there might have been some subtle changes, akin to Mercedes' strategy of adding minor enhancements at each Grand Prix, even if they aren't visible. McLaren has promised to deliver parts that will boost their car's performance, aiming to secure the top spot. Their car appears to be the fastest with minimal mistakes and performs well in slow, medium and high-speed corners. Austria is particularly notable as last year they introduced a huge upgrade package there, proving effective from the start, similar to their success in Miami. Typically, McLaren prefers to roll out major upgrade packages instead of smaller tweaks. They prepare for these big upgrades by gradually adding smaller parts. So, we might see some minor components in Austria building up to a significant package at Silverstone. In the upcoming races, expect something new for McLaren cars. Mercedes, just like McLaren, has announced they will bring parts to all the upcoming races, confirmed by team principal Toto Wolff. Both Wolff and Stella have discussed these upgrades directly. Despite no significant upgrades being reported for the Spanish GP, Mercedes did manage to reduce their car's weight, addressing an internal issue. Weight problems have been a common challenge for all teams in recent seasons, affecting handling in certain corners. While the Mercedes car is expected to be a top contender, it now faces stiff competition from Ferrari, McLaren and Red Bull, especially considering their performance in the Spanish GP. Loose performed remarkably well at the Spanish GP, although they're still struggling with downforce in the slower corners. Austria features similar slow corners and tough braking zones, but also has plenty of straights. The team has made significant strides in straight line speed. They even ran a smaller wing than most teams in Spain and still did great. It'll be interesting to see if the new parts they'll add will help them stay competitive. They claim they're still missing about 2-3 tenths of a second, but I think it's closer to 1-2 tenths depending on the track. Since Austria is similar to Canada, a big performance boost from Mercedes is expected. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.